Hi everyone, this is Rion Paper, and in today's video I wanted to show you my currently inked for the month of April. Last month I picked a pretty coherent color palette based on a picture, on a photograph. But this month I don't really have much of a coherent color palette going on. It's just a couple pens and inks that I wanted to try out or that I wanted to ink up again. But it's just as much fun, at least, to write with. I mean, you're writing with one pen at a time, so a color palette only really makes sense when you start combining things on paper. For the rest, it's just writing with pens that you enjoy or that you want to learn more about, things like that. So yeah, let's get into it. The first one is probably no surprise if you've seen the unboxing video for this pen. It is my Leonardo Officina Italiana Furore in white salt. It has an extra fine nib, and I have inked this with Dominant Industry Lake. A beautiful combination, and I also can't wait to try this out with lots of different colors, but there is still quite some ink in this one. So I figured why not just use it for the month of April. As it wasn't originally part of my March lineup, I bought this in March and then couldn't wait to ink it up. So I just did, but I didn't add it to the list. So I'm doing that for this month. And the next pen is a pen and ink combination that is not new to me. I have done this combination before and I absolutely loved it. And I was really missing this color. And so that's why I decided to ink this one up again. It's my Sailor Compass. Yeah, what's it called? Wait, let me check. The Sailor Compass, that's just the name. It's the Sailor Compass in yellow green, basically an olive green, but there's also a darker green. But this is the yellow green one. It has a medium fine nib, and I've inked this with Dominant Industry Leaf Green. I also have a little swatch card of Leaf Green. I haven't made swatch cards of all the inks yet. That is a work in progress, but I have one for Leaf Green, and it is a very pretty combination. This ink has an amazing flow and a beautiful color, beautiful shading. And it writes really well in this Sailor pen. Next up is my TWSBI Eco in white. It has an extra fine nib that writes like a fine to almost a medium nib. It is a very wet pen, but I've inked this up with J. Urban's Orange India, which is this color. As it's a white pen, I think it goes with almost every ink color, and I'm sorry I forgot who made the comment, but on my last currently inked video, someone mentioned that orange is also a nice spring color, and I didn't include orange in my last currently ink, but that made me wonder, like, why do I always use orange abundantly throughout like summer and fall, but never during spring? So that's why I wanted to ink up a pen with an orange ink color. So thank you for the suggestion. Yeah. The next one is also quite a new addition to my fountain pen lineup. This is the Delta Spaccanapoli Serra Cassano. That's a whole mouthful. The Spaccanapoli pens are sort of inspired by various palazzi or various mansions that are built alongside the Spaccanapoli, which is a street that sort of divides the center of Naples, as if I've understood correctly. I have visited Naples, but that was a long time ago when I was still in high school. But yeah, this one is modeled after the Palazzo Serra Cassano, and it has a beautiful brown, orange, yellow sand color. It has lots of different colors. It has a beautiful chatoyancy. And for now, I've inked this one up with J.Herbin's Lit de Thé, which is a gorgeous brown. It was actually also an ink that I used in last month's currently inked. And I like it so much that I wanted to use it again in this pen, because I didn't love how the Jinhao 80 wrote with this ink. The problem was that as I was writing with it, every time I would start writing with it, it had a very fine line, and then gradually it would start getting a little wetter, as if the pen was sort of starting to dry up. It would still flow immediately, but every passage you wrote with it looked a bit strange, because it has like very fine lines in the beginning and then like wetter lines or thicker lines as you keep on writing. And this one doesn't do that. This one just writes very consistently, which makes it look a lot prettier. This is also an extra fine. What can I say? I'm just more of a fine and extra fine boy. And it writes really smoothly. The next pen is my LAMY Lx in Ruthenium, also with an extra fine nib. This one writes extremely fine. I love how this one writes. And I've inked it up with Diamine Grey. And way back in November, actually my very first YouTube video was me showing this pen and inking it up for the first time with Diamine Grey. And back then I didn't really like how that combination wrote. I had a lot of hard starts, and I just felt like the ink was way too dry for the pen. Then later I inked it up with Pilot Kirisame. It wrote beautifully, but that made me wonder if maybe it wasn't really the ink's fault or the fault of the combination, but maybe it just needed a good clean. Maybe there was some gunk left in the feed from the manufacturing process, or maybe in the nib. So I inked this up with Diamine Grey again. And while it still writes a little on the dry side, it does write much better now than it did the first time. So I'm really glad, because I do like the very neutral color that Diamine Grey has. It's a very interesting ink in that it is actually not interesting at all. It doesn't lean cold, it doesn't lean warm, it has no sort of undertones from red or green or blue or pink or anything that you usually see with a lot of gray inks. It's a super neutral gray ink, which I think is just really nice sometimes. And then the last pen needs a little bit of agitating, because I've inked this one up with a shimmer ink, and this is a clear Pilot Lightive, which is, I think, the same as the Pilot Explorer, I think. But at least here in the Netherlands, it's sold as the Pilot Lightive. And I've inked this one up with a Diamine Inkvent ink that I've been wanting to actually ink a pen up with since I got it in the Inkvent calendar in December. And that is Diamine Astral, which is a beautiful black ink with, I believe it's a chameleon shimmer. I didn't actually check that before filming, but at least it's a shimmer ink and it has this sort of greenish golden shimmer and it's really, really pretty. And even though it's not really a coordinated color palette, I do think it looks really nice together, these inks. I wonder if you can maybe see the shimmer. It's quite a subtle shimmer, so it might not really pick it up. Yeah, that is my currently inked for April. These are the pens that I'll be writing with and that I will have a lot of fun with, I think, because right now I've been writing with them for a bit and I don't think there's any sort of problem child amongst these pens. Like sometimes there is a pen that from the beginning I'm like, I think I will either have to like unink this, not enjoy it, or maybe just like swap the nib if that's possible on that pen. I actually did that last month for the Platinum Little Meteor. I did not like how this wrote with a fine nib, but I did have an extra fine nib that I sort of salvaged from a Platinum Preppy, and that's what I put on there. And then I really, really enjoyed it. So sometimes you just have to try things, I guess. And no, I'm not going to try broad pens. No, just kidding. I know that some people have suggested I try a broad nib sometimes, and I really, really should. Maybe next month. Thank you for watching. If you have any pen or ink suggestions or any combinations that you'd like to see or that you think that I would like or that I should try out, any ideas are welcome in the comments down below. And in the meantime, I hope you have a great day. Thank you for watching and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!